Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. All right. The first of the two budget deadlines is coming up on March 1st. The second is March 8th. It is Valentine's Day, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Which gives us, 16 days before the budget's due. And it's interesting. I'm not hearing a lot of news in the mainstream media, if you will, on the status of the budget. To the point where I was doing Google searches and I just wasn't finding any stories other than most of the stories were in regards to the extension that happened in January. I did find one Forbes article discussing the budget, and I'll have that in the description, that says they're actually making progress this time. And the likelihood of a government shutdown is much less than it was in the previous budget debates that ended up with extensions. But that doesn't mean this one won't end up in an extension. It just seems like they're making a little more progress in the House of Representatives. So I think it's high time after the House of Representatives has impeached Mayorkas, and while at the same time not wanting to take up any resolution to actually resolve the immigration crisis at the border, and then wanting that tied to a funding bill for Ukraine and Taiwan and Israel, and then rejecting both of them, and then rejecting the funding bill because it's not tied to border security. So what do? They impeach the Homeland Security officer because that makes sense. How about budgets? How is the budget looking? What's the energy around the budget deadline that's coming up in March of 2024? Entertainment purposes only. Ace of Swords. Ooh, might we actually get it this time? This almost seems like it's a hard deadline. That this is kind of a make or break deadline here. I don't know if either the Republicans don't want to extend it or the Democrats don't want to extend it anymore, but somebody's got it in their craw that this is going to be it. No more extensions. Crossed with the Seven of Wands, the debates, the competition, negotiations. I think this is just showing that they're actually moving forward with the negotiations, because I don't think they want to extend again. They want to actually come up with a budget. Underneath it, we have the Empress. Empress is major arcana. It's about taking care of everybody's needs, which is pretty much what a budget would do, right? You're looking at all the needs, domestic needs for the U.S. citizenry. So, okay. So far, it looks pretty good. We don't know which way this is going to turn, but let's take a look. In the past, we have the Two of Cups. Agreements, contracts. And you got the red and the blue, the red headdress and the blue gown here. So, there's been a few compromises. The Democrats basically have bailed the Republicans out of their quagmire multiple times. I believe 3 times now is what we're counting on, right? It was one at the end of September, one in November right before Thanksgiving, and then one in early January. So this would be the 4th one. There have been agreements to help get this budget passed in the past. So it's been bipartisan to extend it and have a continuing budget. The Democrats just have offered to the Republicans, let's just continue the same budget from last year. Let's just get this approved so we can get on to that Ukraine funding bill that everybody seems to want, that isn't supporting Donald Trump. Current situation is 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands is an interesting card. It's about the penultimate fight, the weariness, the battling. But the penultimate fight means that you've got this fight and then one more coming after that. So March 1st and then March 8th. So you've got 2 fights that you've got to get through here, and you are running out of time. I think, again, I think negotiations are probably happening. Folks are tired. I think they're tired of this whole fight, this whole argument, and the threats that there might be a government shutdown. This card also gives you that kind of feeling like, time is running out. Does that mean there's time running out for a bipartisan bill? I don't know how the Republicans would come together to get something passed. They haven't been able to come together before, and they don't have a big enough majority to accommodate the extremists and the non-extremists in their party. Overarching energy is the Three of Wands. Okay, why is David laughing at that? The last time I believe the Senate came up, the Senate has been doing the heavy lifting. This is supposed to be the House's job, and it's the Senate's job to do it. So I'm laughing because it's like, oh, don't tell me they're waiting for the Senate to write another bill for them. That's supposed to be their job. But there's almost like this energy like, oh, yeah, the Senate will bail us out. They're waiting for something to come in, whether it's, I don't know, guidance from Donald Trump or the Senate to do their work, or they've extended it 3 times and they're waiting for the 4th extension to come in. And there is a lot of wands, a lot of fire energy, a lot of action and movement going on here. Maybe, just maybe, this is the last time. The budget ship is actually gonna land here. Lesson to be learned is the Ten of Pentacles. The lesson to be learned from this overarching energy. So far, everything on this seems to indicate that they're going to actually get the budget done. Here's your money. Here's your budget money coming in, helping old people, adults, kids, animals, cities, counties, states. I don't think it's legacy. I think this is just the money coming in, that they finally figure out a way to get this budget done. The outcome is the Two of Swords. Oh no. I think what happens is that the negotiations are done, and then it's like is somebody holding up the votes? Are they actually going to be able to pass it or not? Or, some people might be holding out on approving the budget or getting the budget to the floor to be approved. Again, like if the extremists want the government shut down, as the Freedom Caucus and the MAGA folks like to do. Procedurally, can they block and prevent this from coming on? Or, yeah, this is interesting. Right now, though, were I reading the energy, it would seem to me that with those 2s in there, they have a pretty good shot at getting the budget negotiations done. Pretty good shot. As the energy stands right now. Lord knows what's going to happen coming up. So that's the energy around the budget. But that Two of Swords, what is up with that? Will a majority of Republican members in the House of Representatives support and approve of a budget? Maybe is a better way to phrase this. Will there be, how about this? Yeah, will there be a majority of Republicans and Democrats combined in the House that gets a budget approved on March 1st and March 8th? Will the House of Representatives get their part done? That's what they're waiting for. Okay. So this was the overarching energy, and this is now the signifier card on this one. It looks like it's waiting for the ship to come in. Overseas stuff? No. they're waiting. I think they're just waiting for this final deal to coalesce. What's challenging it? Trump is. Um, and that's part of it. Trump has such an outsized role in the Republican Party that they killed. Funny. Oh. Okay. You know what this is reminding me of, and maybe that's what was over here. Border deal. Remember how they didn't want to do the funding, the overseas funding for Taiwan and Ukraine and Israel and Palestine? How they didn't. They had that foreign funding bill, and Mike Johnson's complaining there's no domestic funding in the foreign funding bill. It's almost like that might be a precursor for what we're going to see with this budget. It's almost like they're waiting for Donald Trump to give them a blessing to approve the budget. And the Republicans are waiting for this. Now, I think I heard Libby doing a reading on Hakeem Jeffries becoming the House Speaker if Mike Johnson's removed, and she kept getting the number 3. Now I'm getting that number 3 as well, because it only would take 3 Republicans to join the Democrats in getting a budget passed. But it's almost like the Republicans are waiting for Donald Trump to give an answer. And underneath it, you have these strong emotions, because Trump plays on emotions. He plays on fear. He emotionally manipulates the Republican Party. And they react to it. They react to it. Now, the budget. Will this thing pass? Okay. There's going to be a lot of messaging about the budget. I think things are going to start coming together quickly. As again, they got to work quickly. We've only got a couple of weeks before the first budget part needs to be passed. It's in the past, so it's like I think maybe the information comes out, and this is also messaging. So I don't know if Trump is doing messaging or not with this budget. I'd have to go look that up. The situation is the 8 of Cups. Now that has a few meanings to me. The first one was McCarthy passed a temporary budget, and then 8 Republicans stood against him and asked him to walk. Right? So that could be one thing that's in regards to this. It could be that the March 1st bill passes, but maybe the March 8th one doesn't. They only partially fund the government. Or maybe folks walk away from this budget altogether, but there's going to be some mystery going on here. We'll have to figure out what that 8 is. Overarching energy is the Emperor. I think Trump's going to be impacting this. I do. Between the King of Coins and the Emperor, the Emperor with no clothes, telling him what to do. I don't think this is Mike Johnson. He doesn't strike me as an Emperor type. Trump is playing an outsized role in this from what I'm seeing according to these cards. I could be misinterpreting it, but that's kind of what I'm seeing with it. Oh, he's making life hard on everyone. He is going to make life hard on everyone. Maybe he thinks if the government shuts down, they can't prosecute him. He's kind of, in the past, he's kind of locked in on that somehow the government not being funded means that the court cases stop. And this would be just another delay tactic from his point of view. And because he doesn't care if Republicans get reelected or not. He only cares if he gets elected, because then he can buy his freedom by being the president of the United States. Or, in this case with Trump, the Lord God Emperor of the United States. So I think Trump is going to make things difficult on Congress, which is probably what that 2 of Swords is where, at some point, the GOP in the House need to understand where their loyalties lie. Outcome is the Page of Swords. We had the Ace of Swords as the signifier. We got the Page of Swords here. Page of Swords, it's messaging about ideas and thoughts. Not very skilled messaging, though. Um, the Page of Swords is also the spy in the camp and betrayal. Again, there could be people, Republicans, that decide they're tired of this. They want to be reelected, and this budget stuff's gone on long enough, and they may side with Democrats on passing it. Just enough to get the budget over the hump. Eight Republicans would be enough to get this over. And then Trump can weigh in on these 8 defectors and make their lives miserable, because that's kind of how he is. So this one might actually get through this time. I'm not getting anything definitive yet, and I think that's probably because things haven't been decided. We haven't seen the final budget deals, and people haven't necessarily made up their mind yet. Okay, so now let's get to the... Not that this wasn't the drama, but now let's get to the drama. What's going to happen with Mike Johnson should Congress accidentally pass the budget? Whoops, didn't mean to do that. That great Nancy Pelosi quote the other day about Republicans needing to learn how to count with the first Mayorkas impeachment fail. What happens with Mike Johnson after, say, March 8th? March 8th is when the second budget part is supposed to pass. What happens? How's Mike Johnson, a chariot, moving on? Grinding forward slowly. Does that mean that he's still in there, or that he's being asked to leave? Has to move on. What's going to happen with Mike Johnson with regards... Well, will the GOP, or members of the GOP, insist that Mike Johnson move on and vote to remove him as House Speaker? The Empress. Taking care of the budget, taking care of everyone in the United States. That's what the Empress should be. It could also be Russia if you like, but this is supposed to be taking care of people, making sure all our needs are met. Cross with the Ace of Pentacles. Seems like it would be a budget thing, right? Low energy would be fool's gold. Low energy would be a lazy person with nothing of value. So, what's your opinion of Mike Johnson? Is he a lazy person who doesn't bring much value? Or do we get the budget passed and the money is now out to everyday Americans? I think it's the latter. I think this is the budget getting passed and everything's out there because I've got Joe Biden underneath here, which is telling me that things go through and Biden signs it, which, according to Republicans, would probably give Biden a victory. Now let's see if this goes the exact opposite, because if they do everything wrong, that could give Biden the victory too. In the past, we've got the Two of Wands, looking forward to things, planning, mapping out. You've got the 2 budgets that they've got to approve. They know they're coming. And these things are now in the past. What's the current situation? Is the burden. Okay. Again, this could be the Republicans that helped out. If it was a bipartisan bill that got passed, and the Republicans that helped out are now going to be in trouble. If the Republicans decide not to bring the budget to the floor, then they're going to be viewed as, lazy, entitled, not doing their job, and then their thing is going to be hard on them. Biden's going to come out okay either way on this. This dysfunction helps Biden. The overarching energy, again, we're asking what's going to happen with Mike Johnson after March 8th. The overarching energy is, taking care. It's the wealthy woman card, the 9 of Coins. Having nice things, appreciation, almost like self-enrichment. I'm wondering if Mike Johnson does something that makes him look good at the expense of others. The outcome is the Fool card. Like he's going to be on a new journey. I think they're going to ask him to walk. This would lead me to believe they're going to ask him to walk. Yeah. Unless he finds something new to do and quick, if this budget goes through and it makes Biden look good, they're going to ask Mike Johnson to take a walk, and they will do it quickly. So this would be one of those things that if Johnson's going to be removed from his position as Speaker of the House, it's going to happen really soon after the budgets are passed. Like probably less than 2 weeks, probably more like a week, if not like the next day type of thing. They wouldn't allow for a celebration to happen because it would be this big betrayal. So I'm not really feeling a real strong vibe with these cards like I normally do here. So I think right now things are pretty low key, even though they don't have time to be low key. Things are pretty low key right now, which might actually mean that they're progressing per normal. So it's not the big drama fest that we've been used to the last 3 extensions. So, knock on wood that Congress actually gets the job done this time. And then if they do, the chips will fall where they may. So we'll see. I'll probably read on this again in the next week to 10 days. When we get within like a week, we should have a pretty good feel for where things are standing and how people are posturing with regards to the budgets that need to be approved. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you for your likes and your shares and everything you do to support the channel and feed the YouTube algorithm so this video makes it out to a wider audience. To folks just discovering this channel recently, welcome. Glad you found us. Hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.